Can you hear me? I just updated my. Oh, yay! Hey, Sean. Sean, are you ready to come back? Maybe you can hear me. Maybe it was my issue. Okay, I'm gonna bring you on. Well, wait. Let me go to full screen so you can see Sean join us in a very. No, I'm like showing you my screen. Okay, ready? Ready? Sean's coming. Hello? Sean?
Hello.
Oh my God, I thought it was my audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay. Okay, thank you. So hopefully you have, I apologize, we did not have a chance. Oh, welcome. There's some people here in the
Sorry, I'm
chat.
just trying to figure out now.
I know exactly what you're going to say, Sean. Go ahead and mute Twitch or YouTube and then watch me through the link that I sent you. Then there won't be like this weird delay because everyone else, in case like we're cussing up a storm, we can, well, I don't actually know how to stop that. But there's a little bit of a delay. So all of you watching from home, welcome to this office hours. You heard nothing of what I was saying. And I was telling some funny jokes, believe you me. Okay, so Sean, can you hear me without delay now? No, Sean.
Okay, no, but can you unmute yourself in the other? Well, no, hold on. I think we're good. Just unmute yourself in the live studio tab.
I'm not muted.
So I don't hear you again in our side conversation.
Oh, gosh, I really don't know what to do. Let's just have people in the chat. Do you want me to kick Sean out? Do you want me to? I need to remember to tell you these these things that I actually want to tell you. What do you want to do? This hour is your hour, people at home. Sean, why doesn't audio work? Willie Geertz. It must be communication.
I don't know.
You know what's kind of interesting about Willie Geertz's comment? Which, frickin' Sean, you can't hear what I'm saying anyways. But you make that joke, but I'm actually working on something very, very interesting about a Postman engineering project that is very, very similar to, I won't give it away, but keep your eyes peeled for it. It has to do with WebSockets and how Postman engineering handles WebSockets. And the name of the project is named because it's talking about people from Earth communicating to something otherworldly. So kind of interesting. Willie Geertz, welcome everyone to the office hours. I think I'm going to kick Sean out unless we can get this working with Sean listening to my restream. Or you know what? I'll just leave your face up there. That's fine. That way it feels like I'm talking to a live human and Sean can just, it's like talking to somebody on the other side of the world. So anyways, let me introduce Sean. Oh, I don't know how to do this. This is a puzzle, a riddle that I cannot solve. Sean is the developer advocate from New York City. Welcome. Only people not from New York City say New York City, but I am not from there, so that's where he's from. My name is Joyce. I'm in San Francisco, and today we are together but separate. Sean, if you wouldn't mind keeping an eye on the chat and then making sure I'm not missing any questions, please go ahead and do that. In the meantime, I am going to share my screen again. We'll see how this goes. Let me scoot this thing over here. So what I was telling you about before was that we have a couple things coming down the pike. So remember, log in if you want to ask a question to YouTube, Twitch, or Periscope. You will be asking your question in the chat, and it's first come, first serve. In the meantime, I'm here at the Postman webpage. This is our webpage, and there is a webinar coming up. Oh, they changed this page. Well, first of all, here's a conference. If you haven't heard about that, you haven't been to these live streams. So welcome. We have a conference coming up. You can go ahead and register. we just, I don't actually know where this is going to go. Okay, yes. So we have Steve Wozniak, who is the Apple co-founder, doing Drake Hand, saying like, simmer down, come hang out at Postman Galaxy. We have a couple very cool speakers, and you can see this. It's actually a good looking website. Good work, Postman engineering team. And we do have workshops. So if you are brand new to Postman and you're kind of like learning your way, or it's not that you're brand new, but you're ready to like level up to the next step, there's a bunch of different workshops that are being offered. So I didn't even want to go on this Galaxy page. I don't know why I got sidetracked. This is why, Sean, you should actually speak real time, because somebody needs to keep me reined in. But upcoming events, this is what I wanted to show you. So typically we have this monthly office hours after Postman 101 webinar, but in this this month we just got it. It just got out of order because we just do this on the first Tuesday of the month, what you're watching now. But this is a webinar. If you are brand new, go ahead and register for this. That's coming up on December 9th. And actually, what day is it today? Tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a webinar on introducing Postman public workspaces, the first blah, 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 massively multiplayer API experience. And if you were here 2 weeks ago, me and Arlemy explored. It was actually a very nostalgic stream. We explored the brand new Postman for Web, which if you want, we could take a look at later today. I am having some connectivity issues, so like we'll see what that goes like. If you just joined us, welcome to Postman Office Hours, monthly meeting of the minds. I have nothing prepared for you, but I'm going to just look at our website and talk through it. I have nothing prepared, so log in and ask your questions. If there are certain things that you want to talk about, go ahead and ask them. Oh, and Danny Dainton is here. See, Danny talks to you. He shows up for you, Sean, but he doesn't show up for me. So hi, Danny Dainton. And we have a bunch of people chiming in, but not with questions, just about my terrible audio. So Sean, if you have questions, you can go ahead and log them in the chat too. And we have Tysora from YouTube. Welcome, Tysora. Postman Galaxy looks cool. Yeah, so we have an annual, let's click back because it is kind of cool. If you have questions about like stuff like that too, even if it's not technical or, oh, Danny Dainton says, I'm the favorite. Look at me, Sean. I'm the favorite now. So yeah, this Galaxy conference is pretty neat. I think we've had it 3 years in a row. We've had an annual like Postman conference 3 years in a row. And it's just, I mean, look at this. I mean, I think I'm excited about Wozniak speaking. And I think, let's just go through the speaker schedule. Please, somebody interrupt me if you have questions. So Sean, since I can see your face. I can see your face, and so you're on the hook. You ask questions and you tell me what you want me to talk about. I'm going to be looking at speakers, but we could talk about Postman for Web. Sean is relatively new, but Sean, let me show your face bigger. Sean, you're relatively new, but I know you know enough about Postman, and I know you don't know everything about Postman. So you're on the hook to ask some questions. And we had some more folks join us on the stream, so go ahead and log in, ask your questions. But Sean, ask your questions in the chat. Today he is going to be muted. What a way to have a stream. Okay, we have a question here. Let me go to Jim FM. Is there any way, oh no, now people are asking questions. Is there any way to make it possible to assign a data file to a request for testing without using Newman? Is there any way to make it possible to assign a data file to a request for testing? So Jim FM, tell me a little bit more about your scenario. I do know that some people ask about being able to loop through an external CSV or JSON file. So if you have like test scenarios or test like user data or like whatever you want to talk about, if you have data in an external file that you want to loop through, you can use that in the app. So Jim FM is specifically asking about not for without using Newman, and clarified, yes, without having to specify the file during the collection runner. Yeah, so let me just show you what GymFM is talking about. And let me go to Postman for the packaged app. So for example, if I have all my tests here in a collection, this is a collection that has 37 requests, and I want to use the collection runner, I'll click the flyout and click run. This new window opens up. Actually, you guys can't see that. Let me make it bigger. This new window opens up, and you can attach a file. Oh, I'm revealing my secrets on my own. You can attach a file in CSV or JSON format to loop through it. But GymFM is asking for ideas of without having to specify the file during the collection runner. Something that I have seen, I can't remember who wrote a blog post about it. It might be solutions engineer Matt Ball. But if you can access that file through the web, so say it's sitting somewhere accessible in the web and you're calling like an S3 bucket or something like that, you can actually, as I'm sure you know, GymFM, I'm going to close this window, in your scripting areas. So in the pre-request or tests, I'm going to make this scotch bigger. Pre-request or tests, you can actually, before you run your requests with the tests, you can go ahead and make your call, to cloud hosted file. I think Matt Ball, the solutions engine that I was talking about, actually had a self-hosted server that could retrieve local files. So you do have to specify it somehow because you have to retrieve that data, but I'm not sure if that satisfies your use case. GymFM, let me know if that is what you were asking. Otherwise, Sean came through in the chat. One thing I was looking into recently, I can't believe your face is here, but I am basically reading your comment. One thing I was looking into recently was taking JSON responses and doing something with the visualizer. Oh, it's like that, huh, Sean? You want me to like bust out the visualizer HTML code? Okay, yeah, we could totally take a look at the visualizer. And in fact, there is a little bit of a shortcut. GymFM is saying, yes, hadn't considered it. Yeah, it's just kind of like a little workaround to be able to access a file. Anything that's accessed via an API call or via the web is something that you can use. Oh, and Matt Ball is here. Hi, Matt. Matt Ball is the one that was created, I guess, a local program that can be running on your local file system. So GymFM, take a look at that. And if that gets at what you need, we can, well, I'm not going to take a look at it. Well, maybe we can. Maybe we can. Okay, so back to Sean, your question about the visualizer. So that is a relatively new feature. And there's this really nice, let's go to our YouTube page again. Okay. Hope this is the right account. You can see Arlemi's, algorithm. This is Arlemi's account. This is his algorithm for what he is interested in. He really likes a Nintendo Switch and, salmon arm stuff. So let's just go to our channel and the Postman visualizer. Oh, I don't know if my desktop audio comes in, but this is here, let me add this. Sean is asking about the visualizer. Sean, you better queue up a question or you better be ready to help me with my HTML, CSS. So this is, you can see it's only 3 minutes long, but it takes you through what the visualizer is. For me, I'm not doing front end coding every day. So when I go back to Postman and I'm like, oh, let's go ahead and send a request. I'm going to hit send. And normally I'm used to like poking around down here. I'm looking at a JSON body. I mean, my eye is pretty trained, but like how usable is it to inspect a JSON body every time? Say this was like tabular data or some type of information. Say it was like longitude and latitude information. And, my computer brain might be able to understand what long lat means, but really if you could pop it into a data visualization, that might be a little bit easier for whoever's consuming it. So right now we're looking at the pretty view. It's syntax highlighted JSON, but there's this, and then you have your raw. This is just literally what is sent back from the server. And then you have preview. If you've seen like websites, you can see like a slightly, a rendered website or something like that. without like all the CSS bells and whistles. And then this visualize tab, right now there's nothing to visualize because I haven't added that additional code to render that visualization. In fact, Postman's only as smart as I'm going to tell the logic to render it like that. So someplace that I like to go because I can't write my own code ever, I go to New, and I go to Templates, the second tab, and then I look for like Visualizer. I feel like some people have written some really cool templates. So look, there's like 1,000 imports for somebody who wrote this ShivCon. ShivCon, one of our engineers said, hey, JSON, CSV, or XML, like let's make it into a table. This is a super common use case. And this is kind of what it would look like. Of course, it depends on your server response, but isn't this a little bit easier to read? And what if it was a deeply nested JSON object and you're like having to like, normally you'd have to loop through and kind of extract that information. You can format it however you want. So ShivCon made like, here's what it looks like in CSV format. Here's what it looks like in XML format, or an XML body rendered in tabular. So like what I would do is I would pull in, you can view the documentation, but I would pull in collection visualizer. So now I'm going to find that collection. It's right here. I'm going to star it and bring it to the top. And you can see that it's just going to like a sample endpoint. And this is what the visualizer is doing. It stringifies. What does this look like? I can't ask anybody. I can't quiz anybody. But this looks like a HTML web page, right? So you have your little style tags with your CSS in there. You have divs. This one has class with React components. Okay, so Sean is guessing regular old HTML, but with React components. That's kind of neat. And so this whole section, this whole row 1 to 36 is just a stringified HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It's all jammed in there in style tags and in script tags, but it's just an HTML, like, yeah, it's regular old HTML. And then ShivCon has actually like, I don't know, his React is fancier than mine, but has actually said, okay, this is the JavaScript, the plain JavaScript, not in a script tag, but like outside rendering, and you can tell by the syntax highlighting. This is the function pmvisualizer.set, that stringified template according to these options that he's defined here. So it's pulling that information, that data back. Let's see if it works. I don't actually know if this is a hosted. Okay, so here's like the pretty view, if you can call that pretty. But let's just see if it works. Yay! So this is just a template that ShivCon made to help you visualize data, response data that is formatted in a certain way. And of course, if your response data is formatted differently, then you'll want to adjust the code a bit. But this is a starting point, boilerplate starting point. I don't know. Is boilerplate mean the same thing as starting point? I might not be using that word correctly, but here's something that ShivCon made that's really popular. But if I go back to new and I look for visualizer again, you can see this one has 1,000 imports. This code base one has, it looks like they used D3 templates, which anytime I use D3, that's like a week of my life I'll never get back. But there's a couple different templates in there to choose from. And I mean, you still kind of have to know HTML, CSS, and whatever, but like it makes it a lot easier to get started. Okay, we got another question here. Hi, CryptoCoder. Can Postman Echo endpoint return a post web request? So CryptoCoder is asking about, let's see. I'm closing these. Oh, I actually have an Echo here. So Postman Echo, if you want to check out Echo, you can go here to new templates and search for Echo. In addition to being an R. Kelly song, it's also a collection that Postman published and shared that allows you to test various sample API calls. So CryptoCoder is specifically asking about return a post web request. CryptoCoder, tell me a little bit more about your situation. I feel like that's my answer for everything, but really I'm just trying to like put myself in the mind of CryptoCoder and wonder what they're asking, because there are post method requests where you can make a post request to a /post endpoint for Postman, and then it still works. I mean, this is Postman's server returning this response. So CryptoCoder, not sure exactly what you mean. Can the Postman Echo endpoint return a post web request? This is a post web request. And I think the way this is set up is that if you want to, like, say, submit a post method request to the /post endpoint, in this case, this is an example of form data. If I say like foo1 bar 2, foo2, oh my God, my hot pink cursor mouse is so big. CryptoCoder and hit send. All Echo does is echo it back, echo back param data. Okay, so CryptoCoder has more information. Request.bin, they've used request.bin to investigate the web request. It returns that header and body in a JSON structured way. Yeah, so CryptoCoder, that's exactly what Echo is intended for. I'm not familiar with request.bin, so if other folks in the chat know kind of like a use case or a way to do something like that in Postman, please chime in. But Echo is purely structured to kind of echo back to you what you've sent it. Now, mock servers are also very, I don't know if the verb or the adjective is static, but it is, mock servers are Postman hosted mock, oh gosh, I'm saying this awfully. Mock servers are Postman hosted servers where you can save responses to, I'm not using the word echo, but basically return mock responses from Postman servers. So yeah, if anybody has experience with request.bin in the chat, go ahead and chime in. That's all I got to say about that. Oh, hi API Evangelist, welcome. Echo is request.bin, but for APIs. Little nuances that are API centered. So API Evangelist, tell us more. I could Google request.bin. Sean, do you know request? Oh, he's not going to hear this for 5 minutes. I want to see Sean's face again. I feel silly talking to myself. So guys, ask more questions. If you just showed up, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and ask your questions in the chat and we'll get to them. If you have some new stuff that you've heard about. Last week, not last week, we had a holiday last week, but 2 weeks ago, Arlemy and I, see, I'm in the Electron app. What happened? Oh my gosh, everything on my desktop just disappeared. I probably hit a hot button, but I don't know what happened and I thought everyone left me. So 2 weeks ago, Arlemy and I just were talking on live stream and we were having a nostalgic stroll down memory lane where we were looking at the new Postman on the web. So CryptoCoder is chiming in. Yep, that's what Echo is. It's pretty simple. It's just kind of like a demo service so people can interact with an API and explore different scenarios of different types of requests without finding a public API or private API that emulates that scenario. You don't have to go get your keys and that kind of thing. So it's just kind of a little service, a little, and Postman doesn't do so much with it, but it's pretty neat. There's a ton of, oh my gosh, Sean, we should do one entire live stream where we explore Echo. Authentication methods. I've done basic. I've done OAuth 1.0. I don't know what Hawk is. I know we had a bunch of new auth methods too. Cookies. I think we've talked about cookies before on this live stream. Here's another auth down here. So lots of different scenarios if you're curious about that. API evangelist. I like cookies too. All right, so the Postman on the web is probably the newest thing, and we have that webinar coming up tomorrow for public workspaces in particular. So workspaces you're probably familiar with if you're working on your own in Postman. You can see, I'm going to switch back over to the Electron app. I'm here in a team workspace called Twitch Office Hours. And here's some folks some of my teammates that are collaborating with me in it. So this is all a workspace is. But a few weeks ago, we announced a different type of workspace. So you have personal, I'm going to show you all my junk drawer of workspaces. Here's my personal workspaces. Like I work with a lot of cat APIs. So I have an entire workspace called Cats where I organize the work with my cats. And then we have team workspaces where, for our type of work, Sean, we're constantly like doing workshops or setting up for a conference or something like that. So we're creating special project-based workspaces, but you can also have functional-based workspaces or whatever you want. So now we have public workspaces, and that's what the webinar tomorrow is about. But 2 weeks ago, Arlemy and I took a stroll down memory lane, and we were just unboxing. We were experiencing the Postman for web and just marveling at what used to be and what it is now. And I feel like it was an emotional moment for a lot of Postman engineers because they've been working so long on, and some of the designers, just people have poured their heart and soul into this new Postman for web. And just to see the comparison of like then and now, I feel like people were getting emotional. But I'll drop a link to that here. I don't know how to drop a link besides going to the actual place. Actually, it was just 2 weeks ago. It should still be in if you're watching us from YouTube or Twitch. So what other questions you got? I'm going to go to Sean's face. He's looking at his forehead. There's a nice snake plant in the background. Some nice chords. I recently found a way to organize my chords. It's life-changing. Oh man, I wish I had like a loose chord wrap. So here's a life pro tip for all you people that have laptops and compute PCs and like whatever you have at home. Chord wraps. I've always grown up in a household that has loose chords willy-nilly and like those octopuses, they call them octopi, like where you plug into the wall and then you plug into the wall and then you plug into the adapter. Chord wraps allow you to kind of organize the chords like hair, and then you wrap them, and then it just kind of like makes a big trunk of chords. Life pro tip. This is in marketing, this is what they call net promoter score. People that love something so much that they talk about it in their free time. Chord wraps. All right, Sean, what's the next question? It's all on you. I'll make it like this so you can really see the sweat beating up on his forehead. He's getting nervous about the questions. Oh. Jim FM is suggesting Postman branded chord wrap swag. You know what's kind of interesting? I have been to API conferences that have these bands. So chord wraps are different than the things that just kind of cinch around the chords. Me and my friend called them rubber brands because they're like rubber bands, but with a brand on it. So you'll get like these bracelet-sized rubber things with like the brand on it. I don't actually think Postman chord wrap is that fancy. Ooh, but I will show you some of the pictures of the new swag we got for Galaxy. How do I turn this on again? Okay. I swear this whole office hours was not going to be about Galaxy, but I think there's some pictures of the new swag we're getting. Let's see if I can find it on this website. No, this is old swag. This is our Pride shirt. There is some sweet swag that's coming. I'm excited. As a Postman employee, I'm really excited about getting that. We have these new stickers for Pride as well. Okay, how do you remove a cord if you don't want it anymore, if it's stuck in that hair thing? That's a good question, Sean. I'm not sure because I wrapped my cords too thickly and now I can't pull it. Like it's friction, it's physics. I don't understand. Willie Garrett's never remove a cord. You for sure would need it later on. I'm locked into my cord configuration now. About like once every 6 months, I redo my setup. I have 2 monitors. I should send you guys a picture of this, of what this looks like, except my cat's over here on the side and giving herself a bath, and I have some like dog treats on the ground. It's kind of messy, but my cord configuration is locked for the next 6 months. I cannot be bothered to like change anything about my configuration. Let's go on a hunt for swag. Okay. How do I figure out why a collection won't load for me? Interesting. So Sean, you're asking Sean, whose face is here, but also is chatting because we're having audio difficulties. We're going to go to this. I really don't know how to click on this without. I cannot get that link. Let me go to Twitch. So the question is, how can I get to this? So, Sean, tell me more about what you're asking. They said, how do I figure out why a collection won't load for me? What's going on? Did you send me a bug, Sean? If you did send me a bug and you know this is a bug, I can show you where to submit a bug request. Let's go to Postman App Support Issues. Oh, am I revealing things? Let me drag this off the page. Ah! Okay. What does that mean, Crispy Rebel? Oh my gosh, I just lost. Okay, so when I try to run in Postman, it doesn't work and nothing shows up at that link as well. API Evangelist is trying to troubleshoot. Did you load in web or desktop? Sean is saying, I believe I tried both. So let's just take a look. Fortnite API com is the name of the, I actually don't know. This is not the regular URL configuration. So if I go to home and I go to, let's just try going to like a collection. So this is where we were earlier. I'm here at, here, let's go to this one. There's a bunch of stuff in the URL, but it's got like a, that's not the URL format. Sean, where did you get this link? I expected something to be on this page at least, especially with 20,000 imports. What? Where did you find this? I should never click on a link that I don't know where it goes because it could go somewhere sinister. That's a security lesson for everyone. Are you trying to like hack this live stream from your position of silence? Tell me where you found this Fortnite API. So what I would do is if Sean currently is forever, okay, so Sean found it on the Postman Explorer page, search for Fortnite. And Willie Garrett is saying it had the word Fortnite. So yeah, sinister. I literally have seen somebody play Fortnite once. So Sean went here to explore and probably looked under collections or templates or something. What I would do is I would use the new search. Ooh, you guys haven't seen the search in this stream yet, have you? So this is a new, brand new, like Omni search or universal search. I'm not sure what they're calling it now. I I wrote Fortnite in the search bar. Okay, good. So you weren't browsing, you were literally searching. So let's go ahead and search all of Postman for Fortnite things. And it looks like there's this API. So there's one collection that has Fortnite in the title or in the indexables. Oh, what is this? This is a bug. 20,000 imports. That looks suspicious. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's go through submitting an issue. Oh no, it's this thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm very, very sensitive because I have a role that allows me, I don't want to mess anything else up for the, oh no, it's prompting me to change my password. Okay. Let's just, oh wait, I keep going to this thing. It's like muscle memory. I cannot not go to it. So let me, can I copy this? Oh, well, this is terrible. How did this work? I was prompted to reset my password and then GitHub let me in. So that's fantastic. User experience, but maybe not the best, security. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this link in for Sean and whoever else finds something that's a little unexpected. Of course, there's going to be places where you can go to answer your questions. So I am in a browser and I'm going to community.postman.com. And just getting started or help, it's a really good place to just ask these questions. Like I like Sean, your visualizer question would be fantastic to be like, where are some examples of visualizer templates or something like that? That would be perfect for the forum. But if there's something like this, that is like probably a bug, like this just looks weird, huh? I hope we're not like, it's not sinister and I don't know what's going on. So I don't know what's going on. So what I would do is I would submit an issue. And this is Postman Labs. This is our org. And actually, I'm going to open this in a separate tab. So here's like Newman. Here's the Postman collection format. Here's Postman Docs. It's open source. Lots of open source projects. You can see a ton of stuff. But for Postman app support, you can see it's highly starred. And I'm not sure why people are forking. Why would somebody fork our issues? Or maybe they just want to manage it that way. I don't understand how that works. But you can actually search for, like, first of all, no one's going to say this is a Fortnite bug. No one's going to call it a Fortnite bug. But it might be like something not displaying in the API network. So that's, or something not a search result. You know, so however you want to write it, it's just kind of like reporting the bug and creating a new issue. This is highly monitored by our support and our engineering team. So I would go ahead and submit an issue, Sean. That's a bug. But that's really interesting that I've not seen that bug before. So this little search is pretty nice. Let's see, Crispy Rebel. From the console tab, maybe something missing from config or an update. Uncaught in promise, could not get config. Oh, they're actually doing real troubleshooting, Crispy Rebel. So they're going to the console tab. And I'm guessing you mean Chrome DevTools console. So if you inspect and look at the console there, there is a console in the new Postman and in the old Postman that some folks don't know about. Does everyone know about the console? Is that old news? So here's the console I'm talking about. So if I open this up, you can see a history of my network calls. And sometimes something, okay, so I feel like console is kind of old news. I tell a lot of people that are surprised and delighted by it, but you can put your log statements and kind of inspect your stuff going on behind the scenes. Postman as a client, this is the stuff going on behind the scenes under console here. But if I'm like, okay, is this an issue with the API I'm working with, or is this an issue with Postman? And I'm not really sure. There is the ability to view, show Postman console, and then there's also a DevTools console. So I am not sure exactly what displays. I'm not sure. I don't think I'll reveal any secrets, but you can actually take a look at the Postman console, which is what we just looked at from the bottom toolbar, or you can look at the Dev Tools console, which takes a look at more behind the scenes what's going on, so you can kind of do a little bit deeper troubleshooting on, is this a Postman app issue? Should I submit an issue on GitHub? Or is it an issue with the Postman with the API I'm working with? Interesting. Good call, Crispy Rebel. Lots of different ways to dig a little bit deeper. Sorry, Sean, we couldn't solve your Fortnite issue. Why were you looking for Fortnite APIs? I'm curious. Yeah, so we got 9 minutes left. What do you want to do now? Okay, Willie Garrett is saying my console is undocked. Meaning you popped it out. So I know they changed this recently. Willie Garrett's, what do you mean? You can kind of pin it to the bottom, which I kind of like, or you can like pop it out. Here's this like little universal sign for opening up something in a new window. And Willie is new to Postman. Welcome, Willie. Hopefully you go to the Postman 101 webinar that's coming up in a week or so. But if you're totally beyond that, yeah, popped out. So this is how it used to be. It used to be a separate window that opened like this, but then like having to switch back and forth between the windows versus having it pinned to the bottom in a pane. I'm undecided because this eats up a lot of room. I'm undecided what I prefer. But the console is fantastic. And even though I think it's kind of old news, there's still a lot of people that don't know it's there because, look, it's so tiny. Unless you wonder about it and then look it up in the docs. Oh, I'm showing you this on a tiny, tiny screen. And Sean is saying, I love video games. And that's why he was looking for Fortnite. Should I Google Fortnite? Is that safe for work? I don't understand. Well, let's just see what other, what are some other popular, okay, Jim FM, I'm sure is asking a fantastic question, but I also want to explore what gaming APIs there are here. Okay, so Jim FM, is there a way to keep a request in a collection, but always skip it in the runner without having to manually uncheck it and without using set next request? Ooh, these questions are getting very sophisticated. So Jim FM is saying that previously we looked at the runner. And then you can actually like uncheck stuff and say like, okay, here's the ones that I want to run now. And it'll run in waterfall format unless I have code that says has conditional logic. And that's what they're saying without using set next request. Is there a way to keep a request in the collection, but always skip it in the runner? And without using set next request. So, oh gosh, I'm going to ask you again, Jim FM, tell me a little bit more about your scenario, because what I would do is if you want to conditionally skip something, then you can, you know, write code using set next request. If you just want to keep some requests in the collection and never run it, then I'm not sure why you wouldn't just have a folder at the very bottom with those requests, for example, and then just set next request to null prior to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a folder called request to always skip. And then I'll just have it at the bottom. This is going to be like a folder to contain all those requests. And in the preceding, so if it'll go in waterfall sequential order unless I tell it otherwise. So in digest auth request, this is the last request to run when I'm running them all at once. I would just say Postman set next request null, which terminates the collection run so that this entire folder would never get run. So Jim FM, tell me a little bit more about your scenario and if this does not get to it. I'm not sure if there's a reason why you don't want to use Postman set next request. Also not sure why you would want to have requests that never get run. Because what I would do is also you can just create a whole nother collection. What are these requests that don't get run for? I wonder. We got 5 minutes left, but that is an interesting point that you bring up, Jim FM. Like, why would you use a folder, or why would you use a collection? Why would you use a folder? And if it's just for reference, if you want to use it for some totally different purpose, some people have collections for testing, separate collections from documentation. So say Postman Echo, say Postman team wanted to create Postman Echo and the QA folks wanted to write their tests. As you can see here, here's some tests. This is the old style of tests. The Postman QA wanted to write tests, and then the Postman tech writers wanted to write the documentation. I would probably keep 2 separate collections because it's 2 separate populations working on it. Okay, so cryptic information from Jim FM. Sorry, it's complicated. Depends on the environment. So interesting. So if there's requests to always skip, there is the ability. We haven't talked about environments yet, but if you have, I have no idea what's in this, so I don't want to reveal secrets. Let's just create a brand new one. So say you have like production environment, and then you have like staging, and you have, beta or whatever server environments you have, and you have your entire config there. You can say, you can write code that says, if the environment is production, then run this. If it's stage, then skip this, or something like that. So Jim FM is saying, set next request null sounds good. Didn't know if you could do that. Didn't know you could do that without specifying a test. Yeah, so Postman set next request is a way to set the execution order. Now you have to be careful here with Postman set next request because it just sets the next request that will be called. So if you put set next request null in the pre-request script, this main request is still going to run, but it'll just terminate after the next one. So it's the next request. It's kind of trippy for some people, but like it's literally in the title. It's setting the next request to null will terminate. But otherwise, if you wanted to get fancy with your logic, then you can say set next request is going to be the name of a request. Let's go backwards and say, let's call it, that's too long of a name. Let's call it get request. So here, what this is going to do, if we just kind of look at the flow here, what this is going to do is if I run this in collection runner, it's going to start at the first request, which is this one. It's going to go bam, 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 and it's going to waterfall down until it gets to this one. And then the pre-request script is going to say set next request to the very first one. And then it's going to go bam, bam, bam. So you're going to create an infinite loop. If you run this in a collection runner, it'll just keep cycling and cycling, and it will never, ever get to this last folder here. Okay, so yeah, lots of ways to skin this cat. Okay, so we are nearing the end of our time together. This has been one of the oddest office hours I've ever been to, but we had some good questions. It's just odd because I see Sean's face and I feel like it gives me moral support. And I'm talking to him through the chat, but it's very weird, very trippy, very surreal. Thank you for joining us at Office Hours today. Do not forget Thursday, just 2 days from now, we have a special AMA, Ask Me Anything, with the founder and CEO of Postman, Abhinav Asana. So Thursday, log into our regular time on YouTube or Twitch. It's going to be at 11 Pacific Pacific T time zone. And if you have any kind of like hard-hitting journalistic questions, or you're just kind of curious about like the future or the past, maybe you're a new product developer, you're a startup founder or something. Yeah, Crispy Rebel, come hang out with Abhinav. He's really approachable and you can ask him any questions. And if you want life advice, the kid is like, I don't know, 30 something, very young founder, but exciting life. Just really, I'm going to be asking him questions. I have a very short list of questions I'm going to be asking him, but you should definitely check that out. Otherwise, I don't have anything else for you all. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Sean, we will have you back on. We will have you on for a speaking role in the future. I'm so sorry you didn't get a chance to participate in this office hours besides just your face and in chat, but we will have you back. So thank you all for hanging out. I'll see you Thursday then. Goodbye. Goodbye.